We're live. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello. Is there Christmas music going in the background or not? What's happening? Let me check that. Let me check that. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's why. Interesting. Oh. There it is. I think maybe. I can hear it faintly. Oh, it's so quiet. That's okay, though. That's okay, though. Hi, everyone. Hi. How's everyone doing? So, I know it's a Sunday. I definitely have done Patreon streams just like randomly when I feel like it, but I haven't tried one on Twitch and YouTube before. And so I figured this would be a fun time to do one. Just, I feel like last time we streamed, there were so many questions I didn't get to, and there were so many things we didn't get to talk about. And I just wanted to do a little bit of an extra stream. I don't know how long this is gonna last. I don't know if it's gonna be like an hour, 2 hours. I don't have a plan. I don't have any kind of plan at all for anything. So we're really just gonna see how it goes, to be honest. And yeah, 8 hours later. I don't think it's gonna be that long, because honestly, at some point I'm gonna get hungry and sleepy, and I don't have any makeup on. Like, it's gonna be a whole experience. But I hope everyone's been doing well. I know last time we streamed, it was so much fun, and I had so many questions that I didn't get to, so I figured we could just do a continuation of that. And I can see from you all in the chat so far that we've been having, it's been a rough one. I don't know if we have any astrologers in the chat and give me some insight into whatever the heck's been happening, but like, it's been a rough time, hasn't it? The last couple of days it's been kind of rough, but you know what? We're here. We're gonna talk to each other. We're gonna answer some questions, and hopefully at the end we'll all feel a little bit better. And if we don't feel like talking, I kind of want to play some cheap online Christmas whatever games. Like, I want to find some cheap old school, I guess Flash isn't supported anymore, but whatever the modern equivalent of that is, and just like hang out for a little bit, talk for a little bit, and have a good time. So for those of you who are new here, this is typically an 18 plus only live stream, and we talk about things related to relationships and sexuality and stuff like that. This, I think, is going to be a little bit more of an open format from what we normally do. So like, whatever you feel like you want to talk about, stories you want to share, questions you have for me, for your relationships, for your life, or whatever, feel free to let me know. Somebody asked me last time we did a stream what was on my Christmas list, and I gotta be honest, like, nothing. I did my Black Friday shopping of some new makeup. That was really all I wanted. What I really wanted is I wanted a new graphics card. In this computer I'm streaming on right now, I have an RTX 660, which means that when I render videos, it takes me hours. And on the newer computer that I'm switching over to, that I kind of forgot existed, I have an RTX 1660. I would really like to get one of the new 30 series. That's all I want for Christmas. And they're out of stock everywhere. So I just wanted to put that out there. What do you guys have on your Christmas list? What are you hoping for this year? Oh yeah, I did a video. It's gonna be weird for people that are on Twitch that maybe don't watch my YouTube videos or didn't watch this one. But I made a video the other day talking about a problem I have with my cervix. Very adult problems, and everything turned out fine. So, you know, hey, that's good, right? And it sounds like I was so worried about posting that, because I was like, oh my god, like, people aren't gonna respect me after this. Everyone's gonna think I'm an idiot. Like, everyone else is gonna know about this. And then like you guys are just the greatest. Like, really, like, nothing but like the nicest. Oh, and also let me know if the volume's like funky. I'm trying to keep track of it, but there's a lot going on. So like, I thought everyone was gonna judge me and be like why didn't you know this? But like, everyone is so nice, so supportive. I do like filter out comments. Like, I don't think there's any shame in that. Like, some YouTubers, like, people get weird about people like filtering comments and deleting comments and stuff, I have no problems with that. Like if you tell me that like BDSM or polyamory or whatever I'm talking about is like wrong and bad, like block, bye, see you later. No problems with that. But like everyone, like I haven't had to delete a single comment. Everyone's been so nice. Everyone's been so supportive. And like, I'm definitely not the only one that went through what I went through. I'm definitely not the only person that like made a silly mistake regarding their anatomy and like went to the doctor and freaked out about it. And a lot of you guys like learned something you didn't know, which is perfect. And I was like, oh my God, this is literally the best case scenario. And nobody thinks I'm stupid. Nobody, nobody hates me over this. Like, it was really, really nice. I was very, very grateful for that. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for that. All right, well, now that I've said all that, let's answer some questions. How's everyone doing? No plans are good plans? Yes, I hope so. Your Kevin Marlowe killed me last stream. I love doing that. I thought about doing, man, if I was on YouTube like 9-10 years ago, like back in the day when like 2-minute long videos were a viable kind of content, which I guess now you could do that on like TikTok. I would love to do something with just like overly dramatic statements versus like what the actual appropriate statement is, because I think stuff like that's really helpful for people. And like if me being hyperbolic and silly helps people learn, then like I think I've done my job. A PS5? Yes, everyone wants a PS5. You know what? I get it. I think eventually I'll probably want one, but like I have a Switch and I play that sometimes, but like there's always a couple of games every generation where I'm like, ooh, I should have a console for this. Like usually like Final Fantasy games, things like that don't, you know, end up on the PC. Like those ones I would really want, but like unless it's Fire Emblem or like Final Fantasy, like I usually just play stuff on my computer because it's easier. I do like using controllers sometimes more. Like I use my Switch controller to play Overcooked, and like I actually really like that. Like the not the Joy-Con controller, but the one that looks like a normal Nintendo controller. If you guys, I don't know if I'm describing it. I can't remember if that one actually has a specific name versus like whatever the Joy-Con setup is. A cute cable knit sweater and a peacoat. Oh, that sounds so sweet. I love that. I love sweaters. Like that's like what I told my family to get me this year. I was like, I like skincare and I like cozy sweaters, and that's what I want. And that's what I want. Aw, thank you so much for all your videos. They're amazing. I wanted to ask if you have anything that keeps you motivated, engaged in your creative process, things like that. That's so sweet. You know, it really depends. I feel like sometimes it's like fear compels me to keep going. Like I feel really motivated by like, oh, I have to be on this schedule and like I want to make sure I have this ready. And so like I'm very internally motivated by like a desire to keep meeting the goals I've set for myself. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've been making YouTube videos for like 5 years, which is crazy. Like that I've been doing this for 5 years. Like what? Like how is that possible? How do I still have things to talk about after 5 years? I don't know. But I do. I always do. I guess I'm just a chatterbox after all. And what keeps me engaged in the creative process, I feel like, is when I stay engaged in terms of like watching movies, reading new books, watching other people's videos. Like I feel like that kind of helps me be like, ooh, here's an idea. I want to respond to that, or I want to offer my own opinion on that. And just also like doing these live streams, honestly, it's also really helpful because I get so many really thoughtful, detailed questions and things that I'm like, my brain just latches onto and is like, oh yeah, that's a good nugget. I want to keep thinking about that. And that really helps me. But really like knowing that I like in a more general sense, like knowing that I'm helping people, knowing that my videos are helping people have better relationships, understanding themselves better, understanding their partners better. That's ultimately really what I want. I want people to have better relationships and feel secure in who they are and be encouraged to grow and learn, you know, and not be scared of things that are different. And when I feel like I can do that, I always feel motivated to keep going on that path, you know. I rather buy people stuff than getting things. Oh yeah, you rather give gifts than get gifts. True. Giving gifts is really fun. But I always feel like I always have the problem of like, oh no. Like, what if I get something they don't like? Like, I always feel really nervous. Like, if people give me a gift list, that's ideal. That's what I want. That's the information I need. When people don't tell me what they want, I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna try my best. And then I never had a present like go badly. I think I never had given somebody a gift and it's been like a disaster. But there's always that worry, you know. All right, let's go over on YouTube. Let's check how the YouTube peoples are doing. Hello, Evie. Keep up the good work. You have helped greatly. Thank you so much, Pablo. I appreciate that. I prefer finding things they would never discover themselves. True. I've done that. I feel like I've been successful at that for sure. Like I've helped my mom get into like a skincare thing, and I'm really proud of that. My mom's like, "Oh, I don't really like this eye thing you got me." Like I feel successful when I can do that for sure. And I've also done that before with other gifts for friends as well. They're like, "Oh, I didn't even know I needed this. This is perfect." And I'm like, "Yes, I've done my job." That's great. All right. All right, how's YouTube doing? Let's take a look at what we got going on over there. But I have my questions ready. All right, ask away, May. Love watching you so much, Evie. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Glad you could make it, William. Welcome to your first stream. I know, doing it on a Sunday, like, I guess this isn't really afternoon anymore. God, time flies, doesn't it? Yeah, it's gonna be 5 o'clock in like no time. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Kelsey. OMG, my first time watching this live. Always stays late. Well, hey, now you're not. Welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm glowing. Oh, thank you. I did remember to put on moisturizer today, which based on how the rest of today went, I'm like, okay, I did the basics of my skincare routine. I'm gonna be happy with that. Jupiter and Saturn alignment, 21st December. What does that mean? Is that bad? I feel like anything involving big planets. Like, are there do good things happen in astrology or just bad things? I don't know anything about it. Oh, there's also a lunar eclipse. Oh, really? I totally missed that. I've been slowly realizing how many bread tubers Evie follows. That makes me incredibly happy. Oh my god, there was somebody on Twitch. I don't know if they're in this chat, but there was somebody on Twitch who found me both in a Surfs live stream and in a Bad Bunny live stream. And I was like, I've been called out. Because like before, like I would watch people, but I didn't have an account. And like I didn't comment on stuff. But like now that I'm actually on Twitch, I comment on things. And like, listen, if they're a bread tuber or related to that, I pretty much watch them. I love Curio's videos. I love Tom Nicholas. I love Jack Saint. Obviously, Philosophy Tube, ContraPoints, The Surfs, like anything in that general constellation, I pretty much watch. And even people that I don't necessarily fully agree with, like I will still occasionally I will still occasionally consume just to be like, hey, you know, sometimes it's nice to have things from different perspectives, you know what I mean? I could play Cthulhu Saves Christmas. What's that? What's Cthulhu Saves Christmas? Is it normal to not experience Dom drop? I think for most people, like anytime you have a scene, whether or not you're gonna experience Dom drop or sub drop or anything is really, really independent on who you are as a person and the scene that you just had. Also, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What was I saying? Yes, anytime you have a scene, like it's gonna be totally individual. I would say it is much more common for people to experience sub drop than top drop or dom drop, but it definitely does still happen. But it really depends on the individual scene. I know people that go both ways. Like I know people where they basically never have it. I know people where they have it every single time and they plan for that. So if it's unusual for you, like it's more important to, I think, be aware of what your normal is versus like what normal is for everyone else. Because you're not everyone else, right? You're you, and you have your own individual experience. So it's really about finding your own patterns and then being able to tell your partner when something is different or when you need help. And if you can learn to do that, you're on the right path. It is truly weird to see people say, I enjoyed your cervix video the other day, because like without any context whatsoever, that sounds completely bizarre. But I promise it was not, there was no camera anywhere in my internal organs at any point. A Keurig K latte machine? Oh, it makes lattes? I can see how that would be fun. Oh, you want a collar for Christmas? Yeah. Yeah, I know that. I feel that. Clothes? Yes. It's so weird because like when you're a kid, right? You're always like, I don't want clothes. Why did I get socks? I don't want socks. I want a Game Boy. And when you're an adult, you're like, please, I want warm fuzzy socks and I want nice sweaters and I don't know, what else do adults want? Like books. Say this like I'm not an adult and I don't know what other adults want for Christmas. Like candles. That's always a classic, right? Perfume, jewelry. And if you're a kid, you're like, what's all this? I want chocolate and games. Oh, I'm really hoping my daddy got me a Squishmallow stuffy, but a girl can dream. Oh yeah, I've been seeing those around. Those are super cute. I love those. Do you guys want to see one of my stuffed animals? Should I go grab it real quick? I feel like that would really help with this whole vibe we've got going. Because I don't have, what was it, a Squishmallow? I don't have one of those, but I do have a Squishables. I have many of Squishables, actually. Blankets for sure, yes. I have too many, though. I have like 20 blankets. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm not gonna switch to the other screen. I'm just gonna, y'all are just gonna see the back of my chair. I'll be right back. I wish there was a way I could have him just like be visible on stream. This is like the most Christmassy one that I have. Isn't he beautiful? Don't you love him? If you don't love him, I don't know what to tell you. But like, isn't he the cutest? Okay, oh, we have a super chat. Sorry, I missed that. Thank you, Telzy. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Isn't he the cutest? Where can I put, I don't think there's a place I can put him where he'll just be on camera. Unless I put him like here and then he'll be, you guys don't really want to see my face though, right? You guys, the penguin's face is much better. I'll just have him there. I feel weird about admitting I have a stuffed animal or stuffed animals. I don't like sleep with them every night. They're not on my bed. But like sometimes you want something with a face to snuggle. I feel like that's not weird to say. That should be an emote. You know, when I get emotes, I will certainly keep it on the list. Although it may make less sense in like after Christmas times. But I can see that. I can see that. What's his name? You know, I was trying to think of that because it's been a while since I've pulled this one out. And I cannot remember what I want to say it was just like Mr. Penguin. No, I have one named Mr. Poodle. Cannot remember. What do you guys think we should name him? Or rename him? Maybe it was like Sir Penguino or something? I can't remember. Vote now in the chat for what this penguin's name should be. Because I can't remember. I have too many. I know, like I named them. And then I forget. Wobbles. I love that. A Bavely Niffler. He's so cute. Is that one of the Killstar stuffed animals? Oh, I actually do sleep with my mini beanie doggo. That's so sweet. Pebbles. Oh wait, no. That is what I called him. This is Pebbles. I'm like 99% sure that I think Pebbles was actually it originally. Or Peebles or something like that. Like, that name is so familiar, there's no way. Oh, alright. Let's see, where am I going? Say, where am I going? I mean, where am I in the chat? What trip am I going on? How do you feel about the levels? I don't know what that is. What are levels? Pingy McFlip Pants. I forgot his name. I did. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just like, my brain isn't working. I'm sure if my brain was fully operational, I'd remember. But I can't right now. So I'm not. Oh, the only thing I want is my sub agreeing to a collar. It's beautiful. People or planets or sensitive points in the cardinal signs have been getting hit hard for 6 months for the past year. Oh my gosh, really? Wait, what am I? I'm gonna Google that. Wikipedia, tell me. Oh, hey, yeah, I'm Cancer. That's a cardinal sign. I'm fucked. What are the, what else am I? I'm Cancer, Sun, Gemini Moon, Virgo Rising. Now pinpoint where I was born based on that information. I feel like having Cancer Moon or Cancer Sun Gemini Moon is like such a vibe because I feel like how opposite they've like are pretty opposite, right? Oh no, Gemini's mutable. That's fine. What about Virgo? I know nothing about astrology. We're learning so much here, everyone. It's actually just a okay, and Virgo's also mutable. So I guess I'm not that fucked. Just moderately fucked. Just a little bit. Does anyone have any resources for practicing kink dynamics safely with, quote, mental illnesses, i.e. I'm bipolar, having trouble finding energy? Yes, actually, so if you open up the description box, there should be an FAQ. And in that FAQ, I have a whole list of resources and books you can read. And there are a series of books written by Raven Caldera that go into being into BDSM while dealing with both physical and mental illness. There's 4 books in total, depending on which you're dealing with and what side of the slash you're on. So I find those to be very helpful, and I specifically remember in the book on mental illness for submissives and bottoms, I think there are at least 2 stories that talk about dealing with bipolar and being in the BDSM community. Is it normal to not experience dawn drop? I already answered that question. You missed it. How do you think COVID changes the way people date in the community? I feel like... Are people dating? That's the real question. That's the real question, is are people dating? I feel like the way that it's changed dating is that it's pretty much all online, and it's really hard to get to a point, at least, where you can go beyond just the meeting in a park 3 meters away, 6 feet away. No, it'd be 2 meters? Yeah, the 2 meters or 6 feet away wearing a mask. And it's just like, it's really hard to find people. Like FetLife, where I was talking with a friend about this earlier today. Like FetLife, OkCupid, anywhere you go to find dates, it's just like a hot mess, because you have people like there's the people that have blatant disregard for any sort of safety regulation, and then there are people who are like, I am not meeting anybody in person for the next year, and there's no in between. There's no in between. And so trying to meet anybody new, I think, is just really, really hard in general. And I think it delays the whole dating process and like establishing a partnership a lot. At least that's been my observation. They are dating individually from their own homes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. LOL, I never thought I'd think I'm lucky to be in a long distance relationship. I mean, like, sometimes it's fine. Like, I feel like, I mean, obviously people that are like in an existing long distance relationship, like, that's your status quo, right? That's your norm. I mean, it can be really hard to be in a long distance relationship during COVID, because for a lot of people that are long distance, you at least occasionally have the promise of being able to occasionally meet up or fly to see each other or something. But with COVID, it's like, oh, hey, you know, we're planning our yearly in-person meeting that got canceled, or every 6 months, or, you know, my airport isn't open because I live in a small town or whatever. Like, there's just a lot going on that does make it harder. But I think if your status quo is not seeing each other, then not seeing each other is a lot easier than going from being used to seeing each other on like a weekly basis to not seeing each other at all. And I don't want to talk about like my personal problems like too much on this stream, but like that's the issue that I've been dealing with, especially with COVID getting really, really bad, is like having partnerships that really, really, really strongly want and need that constant like physical connection and contact, which I don't necessarily feel as compelled to need to have, and feeling really stifled because of that, you know. I ended up leaving my last relationship during COVID, so I've just been working on myself, so I'm okay with the not dating situation. I mean, hey, you know, sometimes being single and like taking that time to reflect on your needs and wants and growing to be a better person in a relationship in the future, like, there you go, you know, that's how you do it. I think there needs to be a kink-friendly dating site that's not bots or an OF request. That's true. What was it Kink D? There was some app that somebody recommended to me, and I downloaded it on my phone, and then I never opened it. And I've been meaning to look at it to review it, but I haven't felt the compulsion. Oh, by the way, I know our chat's popping off, and I love that. Our chat's popping off, and we're here for it. But just as a reminder, I'm trying my best to answer things in the order that I'm getting them, but we do have a lot of questions. So if you want to make sure I answer your question, if you're on YouTube, you can either do a super chat, or you can open up the description box and look at the link for Streamlabs and the donation on there. If you do that, if you do it through Streamlabs, it contributes to our goal, and YouTube doesn't take 30% of it like they do with super chats. So if you want to make sure I answer your question, a super chat or a donation with a text associated with it is the best way to go. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, I try to be fair just by answering questions as I see them come up. Are you worried about Instagram censoring anything inherently sexual soon? I mean, honestly, not really. Like, I think it's been over a year, maybe 2 years. I just have completely disconnected from Instagram. Like, I pretty much, I'm on Instagram to look at makeup stuff. Like, not even people doing makeup, but like I basically use it to like keep track of companies that I like small businesses on Etsy, indie makeup companies and new releases, and that's pretty much it. I occasionally post stuff on there, and I will be really sad if something happens, because over the years, like, I have like 25,000 followers on Instagram, and I have a lot of memories on there. Like, I can look at it and I can see like the timeline of so many like big relationship moments, big highlights of my YouTube career, holidays, travel, kink events. Like, there's a lot of memories I have associated with Instagram, but like I haven't really used it as that in a long time. Just because what did they do? I think they did something that made me be like, oh, like Instagram's like gonna not be friendly. Like, I had a lot of friends that had issues with losing their accounts, getting shadow banned, getting posts removed just like automatically. Like, I had a lot of friends that had problems with that, and then I basically just got scared of getting it completely tanked, and so I was like, I'm not posting anything on here anymore. And it all goes on Patreon. If you guys want photos and daily life updates and shit like that, it's either going to be in live streams or it's on Patreon, because that's where I feel the most secure in being able to post stuff, basically. Oh, look, a bot. It's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen eventually. Read the FAQ. Oh, you're right, because I'm streaming with my Twitch setup right now, so I don't have the little bar below my face that says, please read the rules and FAQ. But yes, if you are on Twitch, if you go to the rules section, there's a link to the FAQ, and if you are on YouTube, if you open up the description box, it's also in there. So I'm just trying to answer whatever questions, so like don't feel too pressured to like review it too thoroughly, but just so everyone's aware. Oh, okay. I took a 5-month celibacy pledge for my mental health. It's up to 4 months. I know a few guys who seem like candidates, good chemistry and lots of shared interests. How do I figure out who and how to wait? I figured out, I feel like you figured out the waiting for the last 4 months. So you probably have that. I mean, oh, thank you for the follow. But for me, if I knew I had a goal of 5 months, oh, thank you so much, Nelly the Bad Witch. I appreciate that. Oh, and we have a super chat. Okay, let me, I will think about that answer to your question, Starry Roses. But let me answer the super chat real quick. I'm doing scene negotiation with a trans man. This is new for me. I'm bi. How to ask gender and genital questions relevant to play in a sensitive way. I would say that the best thing that you can do is one of my favorite educators, just point blank. His name's Lee Harrington, and he is a trans man, and he has so many resources for navigating trans and queer relationships in BDSM and how to ask things in a sensitive way. Now, I am not a trans person. I'm not a trans man, trans woman, non-binary. I'm just plain old cis woman. Okay? So I'm not necessarily the authority on trans issues. I do not currently have any trans partners. I have metamors that are non-binary, which is a different situation, and they're also not in BDSM. So that's a little bit different. But honestly, I think the best thing you could do, the simplest question that will get you the information you need, is to talk to the person that you're negotiating with and ask them, for our negotiation, what sort of questions would you be comfortable with me asking, and what sort of information would you like to share with me? Basically what I'm trying to get at, maybe not that exact phrasing, I would need to think about it a little bit more, but I think the best thing that you could do is to give the person you want to play with or whatever else it is that you're doing, give them as much space as possible to tell you what they are comfortable with sharing without feeling pressured to divulge any particular information. If you don't watch her already, Kat Black is a trans woman that talks a lot about BDSM on YouTube. I don't know if she has a specific video that talks about this. I think it's more has to do with dating as a trans person and dealing with people wanting to know about your genitals. But I think it, as much as it is relevant to what you were negotiating for, I would try to limit it to that as much as you can. Like, I wouldn't treat it as an opportunity to be like, hey, what surgeries have you had? Like, generally that kind of stuff, like asking questions about like specific hormones or surgeries that somebody has or hasn't had, like that is generally something I would stay away from. But if you're doing like a spanking scene and like certain parts of that anatomy, you know, maybe certain areas that are okay. Like, I might not even phrase it in terms of like a because you're a trans person thing. I would just treat it like you would as like a normal negotiation. What areas of the bodies are okay, of your body is okay for me to touch? What should I stay away from? What feels good for you? And navigate it that way. And then if they have any particular information they feel is necessary to share with you, then give them the space to share that, but don't pressure them to be too specific, is basically what I would say. I won't be offended if you don't, but would you mind sharing some of the demographics of your channel? Most of your content is information sharing and educational, curious, so that attracts. You know, I have no problem whatsoever sharing that. If people are curious about it, why don't I just pop over to my analytics real quick and I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Okay, let's see. Manage videos. And then if anyone in the chat is a trans person that would feel comfortable sharing what they have found helps them for BDSM related things, and negotiation and what helps them feel secure and safe with a partner, I would love to signal boost that information. All right, let's see. What do my analytics say? Where are they? Oh, there we go. Let's see. Audience. So this month, I have 45% female viewership and 55% male viewership. I have my biggest singular demographic is ages 25 to 34 years. That's 30% of people. I have 1% of viewers that are between the ages of 13 and 17 somehow. I do have some videos which I'm okay with minors watching that are just very general, like sex ed information or health information, and I'm like, those aren't age restricted, I'm fine with that. And then 50% of my views are from the US, and then the next top place after that is the UK, which is 8%. And 5% of my audience watches with English subtitles. Now, what if I do, let's do the last year, last 365 days. If I look at the last year, my audience is 49% female, 51% male. And then again, the biggest age demographic is 25 to 34 years with 31%. And then pretty much everything else is identical. Yeah, Canada is only 5% of my views. It's actually smaller than both Germany and the United Kingdom. Y'all people in Germany are kinky. Like, what the fuck? Like, I love that for you guys. Not surprising though. Not surprising to me at all. Yeah, YouTube shows me a bunch of stuff. It's very interesting. I do find that depending on what videos I've made, and I have no rhyme or reason to what about them is different. But my age and gender stuff, like my gender generally goes between 40 and 60% one way or the other. Oh, thank you so much, Chelsea. We reached our second monitor goal. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so excited. I was looking at monitors yesterday, actually. I was like, oh, we might meet the goal. I'm going to be able to get one. I think the monitor I have now is mountable, which will be helpful. Thank you guys so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Guess Canadians are not kinky. Maybe. Maybe. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay, so back to Starry Rose's question. Took a celibacy pledge up to 4 months, trying to figure out how to wait and who to do the sexy things with once the pledge is over. I think for me, if it was me and I know I had 5 months, I would not start looking for people in month 4 because I think it would be stressful. It would be stressful to have to wait for a whole month, like with the anticipation of it. I think would be too much for me. I think in terms of waiting, depending on how much anticipation would be a negative thing for you, I would treat it as like an extended negotiation period with these people. I think the only way you're really going to be able to figure out who's the right person for you is to have conversations with them about what kind of things you want to do together. And that includes like, what are you hoping to get out of this relationship, right? Is this purely like a hooking up thing? Is this friends with benefits? Is this a full-on relationship? How long you're hoping to have this relationship for? Monogamy versus polyamory? Do you want to be able to have sex with other people after this period? What types of sex do you want to have? Protection, non-protection? Do you want them to get STI, STD testing first? Do you want it to be kinky or not? You know, do you want it to be mostly BDSM with sex or sex and some BDSM? You know, whatever combination of those things. And I think the more of those questions you ask and the more you are in tune with how those align with your needs, it'll be easier to pick someone. And when it comes to asking the questions in particular, I would be careful to, here, I'm just gonna hold him for a little bit like this. That's gonna be how we do this. So I would be careful to ask questions in a way where you are getting answers from them versus leading them to a specific answer with your questions. So rather than saying something like, for example, I am really, really into anal and I would love to have anal sex. Like, rather than saying that, you would say, how do you feel about anal? Like, leave it entirely open, neutral, give them the space to answer whatever their honest, true opinion is. Because unfortunately, especially if you've been pent up for a long time, if you have repressed sexual energy and you're trying really, really hard to be able to hook up with someone, some people may be more willing to be flexible with their truth telling in order to get what they want. You know? Think with your brain, not your genitals too. Yes, exactly. Exactly. What do you think about a Canadian YouTuber named Depraved Eros? I think they're Canadian kinky. I generally have a policy that I do not publicly give my opinions about other YouTubers because it will eventually get back to them. I would say I am I would generally not recommend their videos to other people. There's something about something there that like my gut does not feel great about. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. If you want to watch another person who's openly kinky, like Kat Black is my favorite. If you don't know her, was amazing storyteller, super funny, crazy life. Would definitely watch her. And obviously, well, Brittany Simon doesn't really talk about BDSM too much on her channel anymore, but like obviously, What's the Safe Word? I love as well. Sexplanations, all of those are great channels. And I do try to find other channels to recommend on Patreon on Thursdays. Usually about once a month, I have a video that I do where I will watch new YouTubers and respond to their videos and recommend things to people. So if you want to participate in that, it's usually what we do on Thursdays on Patreon, is we do that. And I find that to be very helpful and insightful for finding and recommending newer channels. And a lot of them don't stick around for very long. A lot of people just make 2 or 3 videos and then that's all you hear from them. But like occasionally you do find new people that end up like being pretty prolific and consistent with content. All right, so let us get back to questions. Somebody just says, yeah, Michael sucks. I don't know if you're referring to. Wait, is that Depraved Arrows? Is that what you're talking about? Or is this just a random different person? I'd love a recommendation for a Daddy Dom advice channel. Who? There's a name. Oh, like I'm thinking of a person and I cannot remember what their channel name is. I cannot remember. I know there is at least one, because I've seen their stuff before, and like they seemed like they gave really, really good advice, and I liked what they said. It was just their dynamic on camera was like kind of squeaky for me and hard to watch because I don't do DDLG, and like I'm fine with it. Like DDLG is totally fine, super okay with it. CGL in general, I'm totally okay with, but like watching other people's dynamics on camera, it doesn't matter if it's MS, DDLG, whatever. Like when people kind of interact in a BDSM way on camera, like it feels like I'm watching something really private that I shouldn't be watching. Like I'm not a voyeur at all. Like I'm like an anti-voyeur. I don't want to watch people. It feels invasive and weird and I don't like it. And so like I wasn't really able to keep watching their videos, but I think the information they shared was good. I just cannot remember. I cannot remember what the I cannot remember what the name of that channel is. Maybe I'll Google it later if we have time. Oh, you know them through your local scene? As soon as I entered the Toronto scene, I got DM stories to stay away from him. I mean, like, that was really the vibe I got. It was like something about it seemed kind of sus, Kelsey. Kelsey, if you felt like that was information that was like necessary to share, like I am very concerned, like, with recommending people that have like histories of like abuse or like poor behavior in local communities, which is why I don't generally recommend channels to people. But like if you feel comfortable emailing me, my business email is in the description of any of my videos. But I get questions about him a lot, so if there's a place I could recommend people in the Toronto scene to go to make sure that they are vetting people properly, I'd really appreciate that. Stumped her. I know. Okay, here, I'm not stumped. I know. I've taken that as a challenge. Now I have to remember this person. Okay. Oh, my phone's almost dead as well. Then again, it always is. That's basically a meme at this point. Okay. Muscle Daddy Bear. Muscle Daddy Bear is the name of the channel. So there you go, Caspian. I've remembered it. There you go. I was gonna look at that. I don't know if it's gonna. There we go. Also, 6 DDLG and DDLB themed anime. So there you go. 2 questions in 1. I'll email you tonight. Thank you so much, Kelsey. I will definitely be on the lookout for that. I appreciate it. Trying to keep people safe here, you know? Trying to keep people safe. Not interested in gossip. Just necessary information for vetting and keeping people okay. Can minors be involved in BDSM with other minors, or is that not okay? I have a couple of older videos where I've talked about this, and I mean, my opinion on it really hasn't changed. There are some things I think I should revisit because my opinion on them has changed as I've gotten more experience. But like, my opinion is that I will never encourage minors to do BDSM because I think it is dangerous. I think your brain isn't necessarily developed enough to fully understand the long-term effects of what you're doing, especially if you're doing power exchange at a young age. Like, I think that has massive ramifications for stuff long-term. However, I can simultaneously say that it's a bad idea and I don't think you should do it, while acknowledging that people are going to do it anyways. People are going to do it anyways. I think the best case scenario is, as a minor, to do it with another minor. I don't encourage it. I still think it's a bad idea. I think if you are a minor, waiting a year or 2 years or whatever is not the end of the world. Take that time to educate yourself, to learn, to know yourself better, work on your communication skills, work on your relationship skills, get practice doing the basics of like vanilla, normal relationship interactions, breaking up, establishing boundaries, use those like minor years to get that solid foundation that you will need to do BDSM in a more informed and healthy manner. That's really, really what I think. But I know that like minors are going to do things anyways. So if you are going to do it, for the love of God, do it with another minor. Do not sex people. Do not send them naked photos. Do not talk to random people on the internet to do BDSM with them. Do not join FetLife as a minor. Do not do any of that shit. Do not go to a munch. Do not lie about your age. Like, do not do that shit, because you will get in trouble. The people around you will get in trouble. It's dangerous. It's not a good idea. But if you are going to do it, at least do it with somebody in your own age group. And that's the minimum I ask for. And it's not because you're stupid or you don't know yourself or you're incapable or anything like that. It's literally like, I say this as like, look, okay, my idea of what I try to do here is I am your shameless older sister that is looking out for you, and I will call you out on your shit in a loving way when I need to. And as my lovely younger audience members, if there are any of you, anyone who's listening to this, like, wait, I know it's hard, I know you want to dive off the deep end, but like, you can read stories, you can write stories, you can educate yourself, you can listen to podcasts and YouTube videos and watch demo. Like, you can do so much stuff as a minor, you know, to prepare yourself for being in a BDSM relationship when you are the appropriate age. But honestly, in my book, I think if you can't drive yourself to the hospital, if you can't have your own health insurance, and if medical professionals will be obligated to tell your parents what happened to you, it's probably not a good idea to do BDSM. Because it's in the situation of a minor doing BDSM with another minor, in particular, there's a million other bad case scenarios, but the bad case scenario I have in my brain for that is like, I did BDSM with my boyfriend in secret, and something went really, really badly. Like, he hurt me, I hurt him, and we don't want to get in trouble with their parents, so we don't say anything to anyone. And then they go forward, like, trying to hide an injury. Like, that is my fear, that would happen. Like, when minors do BDSM with each other, is like, fear of getting in trouble from your parents would play an unnecessary role in how you decide to handle a bad scenario. And I don't think if you're in that position, like, you should be doing kink stuff, you know? All right, that's my advice. Please understand that I say this with love and like wanting the best for everyone. It's not because I think minors are stupid or incapable. It's just like, please avoid unnecessary harm for yourselves and others. That's all I ask. That's all I want. Oh, thank you. I'm very, very new to this kind of stuff, and I've really enjoyed your content. You're doing great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Would no means yes, safe word means no, play more of a ravishment thing or CNC? Okay, let me think about this for a second. Would no mean yes, safe word means no, play be more of a ravishment thing or a CNC thing? For me, the distinction between consensual non-consent play and ravishment play is not like safe word usage or language usage, but is the nature of the scene itself. Like, I consider like CNC to be like the big umbrella term, you know, like to be like, that's like any kind of situation where like you're consenting to some element of non-consent. Like, that's like the big framework, right? Ravishment play is kind of like a subcategory of that. For me, when I think of ravishment play, again, it's not about the particular words or the arrangement of safe words or not. It's the nature of the play, which is generally sexual in nature, that means that somebody is kind of like overwhelming you physically in order to kind of like have their way with you. That's what I associate with ravishment play, somebody being like either so overcome with lust or being so powerful and overtaking you, right? That's kind of more what I associate with it. The safe words usage is kind of a secondary factor. But in general, some people will disagree with this. My opinion is, I think you can do consensual non-consent with safe words still in place. I think the role that a safe word plays and how frequently it would be used is different, and that is kind of what's meaningful there. Like, I think if you can say, no, 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 stop, 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 please don't, mercy. If you can say things like that and your partner will not stop for those, you are playing with some degree of consensual non-consent, because typically in everyday life, no means no, stop means stop, and that's how it should be. But if you're negotiating to do that otherwise, I think that is at least a kernel of like a C&C element to a scene. I think when I think about consensual non-consent, I think generally for most people, the most sort of risk-aware way of doing it is, you know, you can say anything you want in the scene. You can say no, stop, blah, 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 whatever. However, you have kind of a last emergency reserve kind of like big, this needs to stop now safe word. The intention of it is that it shouldn't be used flippantly. It shouldn't be used as a joking thing. It should be a really serious, like something is seriously physically or mentally wrong here where it has to stop, you know? Like there should be kind of that like last way of communicating something's really, really bad, you know? And I think that should still be there. Obviously some people, especially in long-term relationships where that's like a big part of the dynamic, like safe words aren't in play at all. But I think if you're just thinking about it in the abstract as like in general, this kind of scene, I still think having some kind of safe word there as like an emergency stop is probably a good idea, because like we are not perfect creatures at communication. And so I think playing with more tools first and figuring out if that works for you and if you need it is better than not playing with any tools at all and then being like, oh shit, we should have had them. You know, because you can build up trust, you can build up security and confidence, and take those things away when you feel comfortable with it. But like, it can be a lot harder to add them in after you've already done damage in the relationship because the safe word or something else you needed wasn't there, you know. So that's my advice, that's my perspective, and obviously different people are going to think differently about that. I had money for the first time this Black Friday. I got a bunch of makeup too. I want to know what you got, Evie. I got mostly eyeshadow. I don't know. I will, when I get everything in, I will do a live stream and we'll try some makeup. We'll do some swatches. It'll be a really fun time. I got some things from Black Moon Cosmetics. I got a set of, I got a highlighter and I got a set of 3 liquid lipsticks. I got an eyeshadow palette from Divina Cosmetics. I got some liquid lipsticks from Be Elegant Cosmetics, which is Belegant. It's spelled like Belegant, but with an apostrophe after the B. And I got single eyeshadows from Give Me Glow. And I got a magnetic palette from Baby Bat Beauty, which I'm really excited for because I never made my own palette before. And I'm like, ooh, I get to fill it up with my own eyeshadows. Oh, and I got single eyeshadows from Mater Cosmetics. Did I spend a lot of money? Maybe. I have not. This is like the first makeup purchase I've made pretty much all year. I'm trying to think of what else I bought that was like new. The only thing else I bought this year is I replaced some old liquid lipsticks that had dried out, and I bought more eyebrow product. So like this is like, ooh, new makeup to play with. I haven't had new makeup to play with like all year, so I'm really excited about it. But I will do like a Black Friday haul live stream video when I get the chance to do that. All right, as a reminder, if you want to make sure I answer your question, if you're on YouTube, please either use the Streamlabs link or if you use the super chat, I will be able to read it there. We have a ton of questions though. I'm trying my best to get through all of them, but I don't think we're going to be able to get through all of them. I also probably need to take a break to get food, to get food in a minute, but thank you all so much. Yes, no minors in kink. They can ruin someone's life by lying about their age. Oh my God, yes. Yes, so true. Please, don't ruin your life and somebody else's life. Just wait a year or two, study for your SATs, get through school, and then you can have all the fun in the world as an adult. I promise. I know it's so hard to wait, but it is worth it. You will have better experiences that way. You absolutely will. Did you see the Dom wants me to get rid of my dog post on Reddit? That's horrific. No, I didn't. Okay, what is this? Let me look this up. Oh my God. No, this can't be real. Okay, this is a long post. Okay, I'm bookmarking this. We may make a video about it later. Oh, you guys have given me so much shit to make videos about. I love it, and I also hate you at the same time because like my faith in humanity is 0 at this point. The one that like last time we talked about Sanctum, which is like it starts at $10,000 for a membership and goes up to 50,000. Like that's insane for a yearly membership. Like my entire annual income would not cover a year at this fucking BDSM club. Like that's insane. So I'm gonna research them and I'm talking about them, and then we're gonna talk about this. Like I'm gonna read this, but like I'm not in a headspace where I can read it and not just explode. So we'll read that shit later. But no, I haven't read it yet. I haven't read it yet. $10,000. I'm not kidding. Look it up. It's I think it's obviously supposed to be Sanctum. It's SNCTM. Sanctum.com. It's real, I promise. We looked at it last time. It's utterly bananas. It's utterly bananas. The short answer to the question of is this normal is it's not normal for your dom to be like get rid of an animal. Like that's, imagine if it was like my dom wanted me to give up my child for adoption. Like, don't do BDSM with people that are like that. That's my one true piece of advice. It is insane. Do you have any skincare recommendations? What are your favorite skincare products? Your skin looks flawless. I'm so jealous. Oh my god, you're so nice. My skin is super not flawless, but I appreciate you think that. I think it must have been a long time ago actually now, maybe a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago, I did a stream where I showed all of my skincare products, and my #1 recommendation is to get a mineral sunscreen, wear that shit every day, moisturizer every day. If you can, when you get your face wet, use your moisturizer right after you get your face wet, because that will actually help keep your moisture barrier in. It'll help keep the moisture in, because that's the whole point of a moisturizer. A moisturizer doesn't add water to your skin. It helps prevent water loss. And so, I mean, that's a little bit like it depends on the moisturizer. Technicalities, humectants, all those. Go to a skincare YouTuber if you want the details about that. But like, generally speaking, the role of a moisturizer is less to add moisture to your skin, but help your body retain moisture. So moisturize every day, sunscreen every day. Those are the basics. Get a lip screen. That's also really important, because that shit will age you. The sun will age you more than anything. And skin cancer is also not fun. So avoid aging, avoid skin cancer, wear sunscreen. As far as the best products, that really depends on your skin type and oily skin type, dark skin, light skin. If you have like dark spots you want to get rid of, acne scars, current acne. If you have psoriasis, keratosis pilaris, any other sort of skin condition that makes it more difficult. Are you on Accutane or not? Do you go out in the sun frequently? Like, lots of factors to consider. I really like, in particular, Polish Choice and The Ordinary. Really good, super affordable, easy to find. If you want to start out with stuff, what I would start out with as like a basic skincare routine, I would do a cleanser. I like the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. That's what I use. I have a giant bottle of it. Do that morning and night. Use a moisturizer morning and night, and a sunscreen in the morning. You do not have to use a separate moisturizer for daytime and nighttime. Eye creams are bullshit. Toners are bullshit. You don't need them. If you use a proper cleanser, you do not need a toner. That's my hot opinion. And eye creams are bullshit. Your eyes aren't really that special. You don't need it. You should be using the same shit all over your face. It should be fine. If you want to use a heavy moisturizer at night, that's what I do. I love it. I love the dewiness on my face. I love that. Polish Choice has a couple of intensive overnight masks and like intensive moisturizers. I really, really love those because I'm constantly dehydrated. So I need all the help with moisture I can get. And that's what I like. That's my skincare advice. Are you looking forward to Christmas? I am. I love Christmas. I'm a little bit worried about how it's going to go this year, but I think overall I'm looking forward to it. I'm using the new Function of Beauty and their skincare line, and I love it. Started with their hair care, which I also love. I have not tried Function of Beauty. I know they've gotten sponsorships for YouTubers. I am not one of them. I'm trying to think of... what was it? There was another, like a new skincare company that Cassandra had reviewed and Hiram had reviewed that people also really, really liked. That wasn't The Ordinary. And I cannot remember what it was. I'm gonna have to look this up too, aren't I? All right, Hiram, what was it you reviewed that everybody loved? The man puts out an insane volume of videos. All right, let me see if I can find it. Is it Versed? Maybe that was it. I'm trying to find it, you guys. I promise. Maybe I should just go to Cassandra's page. Maybe that'd be easier. And the very next day, you gave it away. What was it? Alright, guys, this is so entertaining watching me look at my phone. How long ago was this? Inky List. Found it. Yes, Inky List. That's the other one. Inky, I-N-K-E-Y. Inky List. There you go. Those are my recommendations. All right, now I can stop staring at my phone. Now I can stop staring at my phone. Do you have any new favorite aftercare tips? Any new ones? I mean, I feel like the core of aftercare is kind of like pretty solid, you know? Like it is what it is. I don't really have anything different I've done. I feel like the hardest thing with aftercare is like when you leave a scene that's been really emotionally intense, like being able to reconnect with your partner, I think it can be really, really hard if you left kind of feeling like they're scary or dangerous. Sometimes you mean to do that, sometimes you don't. But dealing with that and navigating it, I think, is the most difficult. But not really anything in particular that's new. Unless you had any specific questions about aftercare, I would be more than happy to answer them. How does being asexual and into BDSM work? I'm interested in BDSM, but I don't have a strong interest in sex. Really love your channel, Evie. I mean, I have like a whole playlist of videos where I've talked about being asexual and being into kink. As far as it works, how it works is you do BDSM and then you don't do sex. And when you talk to people, you don't include sex. Those are the steps. It's like, it's not as complicated as people think it is. Like it's really just, you look for the people that are compatible with that idea. Some people, they only do BDSM involving sex. That's all they want. That's all they do. And if you don't want that, you don't play with those people. You don't look for those people. You look for the people that are going to have a similar perspective on kink as you. And so like as an asexual person who mostly does kink non-sexually, like I look for people where that's how things are. You know, that's like, they agree with me on that front. And so it's not even a problem that I don't want to include sex. Like it doesn't even come up as like a part of the equation. It's not even a problem. And when you go, like eventually in the future, when we're able to go to BDSM events again, and those are open, we will most likely find, once more, as it has always been, that like actual full on like penetrative intercourse is fairly uncommon. You will occasionally see vibrators. You will occasionally see like oral sex and things like that, but full on like penetrative penis and ass, penis and vagina, dildo and whatever, like intercourse is far less common than you might be expecting it to be. The snowfall is pretty soothing. I'm glad you like it. That's what I was going for. Oh, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Let's see here. Top frenzy thoughts versus my fear of impossible, on possible, top scene failure. Any advice controlling these types of thoughts? I think the more you work with your brain, the more success you have. I think we oftentimes have a very combative mental experience of ourselves and with others. And so I think if you're trying to fight yourself and trying to make yourself not do something and kind of force things, that will work less over time than trying to work with yourself in a positive manner. So I think rather than trying to, let's say, deny your top frenzy thoughts, pretend like they don't exist, pretend like you don't have a fear of failure, that will probably make things worse because you're denying a reality that exists for you mentally. So I think what I would do is rather than kind of letting those fears overwhelm you, I would try to address them rationally and from a place of confidence in yourself as a way to combat them and eventually allow them to have less power over you. So if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I am so worried about being bad at this, like I'm worried about this scene going wrong, like I'm going to be a failure, I'm not good enough, blah, 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 whatever sort of thoughts you have, I would think about it less in those terms and more like a empathetic acknowledgement without necessarily validating that thing will happen. So you can say to yourself, I acknowledge that I am feeling afraid of failure, but rationally, I know that only so much of that failure is in my control. And what I can control, I will control. So if something does go wrong, it's really not going to solely be on me because I've done everything that I can to have a positive outcome. And if something does go wrong, it's not the end of the world. Me failing at this once is okay. Everybody fails. Even the best people in the world, Olympic athletes fail sometimes, right? And I have to be able to give myself permission for failure to be okay. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about getting everything right. It's about having a good time and focusing on the experience. So I guess that's also something as well you could do, is rather than focusing on the like fear of failure and be like, oh my God, I'm going to mess this up. It's not about being perfect. Like BDSM scenes aren't like this thing where you're trying to get 100 out of 100 score. Like you're there to have a shared experience, a really powerful experience, potentially with another person. So rather than being like, oh my God, this is the thing I need to do, well at somehow, it's about how can I make sure I'm having a positive, good experience with this other person in my life, And the more you can think about going into this as like, I'm going to have a good time. It may or may not be perfect, but that's not the point. I think that will help put you in a better headspace versus like, oh my God, I have to measure up to this like impossible standard, But it's something that a lot of us go through. A lot of us go through that. It's super common. So you're definitely not alone in that either. The journey, not the destination. Exactly. Do you have a stream schedule? Not really. I stream on Fridays at 6. I generally stream on Mondays at 5 or 6. And then today was just kind of random. I may be streaming on Sundays more regularly. I don't know. But it's kind of we're in the process of figuring it out, is what I would say. But it is in my About section, yes. oh, your aftercare routine stopped working for me since you switched partners, so I'm a little bit lost on what to do. That, I totally get that. See, that's the interesting thing. Not a lot of people acknowledge that about BDSM, but like things can be so different from partners to partners. Like your energy with individual people can be so different, And that I think is worth kind of sitting with. I think it's worth maybe thinking about what about it is different, you know? Like what about this is different? Is it the types of scenes that I'm doing? Is it how available they are? Is it the energy we have when we play? Is it how they communicate with me? Is our scenes more intense somehow than they used to be, you know, with other people? And I think if you can kind of identify how it's different, that will give you a good place to maybe start experimenting with things. And I think that should also be a thing in general as well, especially for newer relationships, is to have that space where you can experiment and try things and be like, hey, you know, this thing for aftercare, you know, in the past that helped me, but it doesn't seem like it's helping me now. So what else can we do that we can try together to have this be better? And that's where I would start from. That I think you can really kind of not necessarily rely on your partner, because it's not really about that, but that you can have it be a collaborative experience between you and your new partner to find something together that works, and have it kind of be like, not only is the scene itself bonding, but like the process of like establishing aftercare and having that ritual there, I think can be really powerful. All right. I need some water. I can feel my throat drying up. I feel like maybe around like 6, probably. So maybe like another 15-20 minutes. We'll probably stream me a little bit longer. But I'm gonna take a quick little break. I'm gonna grab some water, maybe grab a little bit of a snack, and I will be right back. So I'll be right back. All right, don't go anywhere. All right, we're back again. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I think I'm gonna say, let's do it at like 10 minutes. Let's do it at like 10 minutes. I didn't want to do this for too long because we streamed for like 4 hours the other night. So I didn't want to go for too long. Mickey Runa asked, does anyone else have any aftercare tips that work for them if they don't mind sharing? So if anybody on the YouTube chat has any advice they'd like to share, go ahead. Go for it. All right, let's see where I was in the chat. By the way, we do have 10 minutes left, so I guess corgis are just gonna bark at me. All right, but if you do have anything else that I missed that you want to make sure I ask, super chat would be the best way to make sure I get that done. Otherwise, I'm gonna have no promises. Obviously, I'm not gonna get to everything, but I will try my best. I first realized that Evie was into breadtube when I saw that she followed Vosh. Vosh's leftist dad and Evie's BDSM mom, and I was like, my worlds are colliding. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You know, Vosh and I are both in the same city. Isn't that weird? Like, it's so, like, I'm in the same city as Vosh and, like, Tati Westbrook and, like, Onision, and it's like, what the like, weird YouTube. Like, LA has, like, every YouTuber. But, like, where I live has just, like, next level weird YouTubers. And I love it. It's so, like, we're such a weird combination of people. And don't worry, nobody's late. This is completely unplanned. So, there is no late and there is no early. There is only whatever time we are all here. And that's really it. Where did I get this music? This is from, was it Lo-Fi Christmas? I should have the link. I'll double check to make sure I have the link for that, but there should be a link. There should be one. Did I miss a super chat? I feel like I missed one. Did I miss the super chat, guys? You want a nice computer chair for Christmas? That would be perfect. This is a really good gift. Like, this gamer chair, like, I know I look like such a professional gamer with this chair, but, like, having a really high back chair is genuinely very nice. I love it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear this, Jessie. If I can ask a question, I'd like to know if you have any advice for coping when your dom breaks up with you, because I'm hella struggling right now. If it's too heavy, I understand. No, Jessie, that's totally fine. Like, this is, like, what this stream is here for, is, like, helping with, like, tough questions like that. Because I know, especially, like, if you're in an alternative relationship, if you're poly or anything else, like, it's so hard. Like, a lot of times if you don't have friends in the community, if your parents don't know, it's, like, it's really hard to find people that can understand, like, what you're going through, you know. I mean, like, really, my advice, and I know it's like, it's so hard. The only real advice I have is to remember this isn't the end of the world. This person, whatever, I don't know why you broke up, I don't know what the circumstances are, it doesn't matter. Like, there are other people. There are other people. This is not the only opportunity you have to do BDSM or to have a relationship or anything like that. There will always be other and more people. And it'll hurt. And that will continue to be true for a long time, but it does get better. Time heals all wounds. Trust me. Oh my God, you don't know how many times in my life I had to hold on to that fact because it was so painful. It was so painful. I have distinct memories of 2 breakups and 1 last friendship where it was so painful, literally for weeks, for like 2 weeks, I checked my phone every 5 minutes. I prayed that every God, spirit, religion, like that they would message me, that they reach out to me, that I could talk to them again, that they would say something. And it wasn't until I got past basically those 2 weeks or so where I realized that I could move on with my life and that things would get better. Take this as an opportunity to reinvest in your friendships, to make connections with people again if they kind of fell by the wayside because you were kind of busy in a relationship with somebody else. reinvest in your hobbies. You know, if you had something you really loved that you didn't get to spend as much time on because of that relationship. Knitting, video games, pottery, plants, you know, read things that interest you, listen to podcasts, create stuff, bake, be with your family, you know, just find other things that fill your life and remind you that you are an individual, whole person all on your own and you don't need somebody else. That is the hardest thing, especially if you're in a power exchange relationship, I think, to remember sometimes. More so than S types than D types, but certainly to some extent D types as well. Like, it's so hard to remember that, like, you are a whole person just by yourself, just on your own. And we kind of create these relationships sometimes where we feel like we are dependent on our partners and we need their praise and approval to be able to function. But, like, we are really our whole own people, right? You know, and when we negotiate for things, when we get into a relationship, we might decide to create something where we have those feelings of dependence on somebody, but those are temporary. And at the end of the day, you can't function on your own. You can't be a whole, wonderful, complete person on your own. And I am completely positive, no matter the circumstances of the breakup, that you are a good, worthy person that deserves love and deserves to have the kind of relationship that is based on mutual trust and respect and love and desire. Okay? Totally confident about that. Not a doubt in my mind. Okay? You are great. All right, we got 2 minutes left here. So I'm going to go ahead and do just a real quick little scan of the chat. How do you deal with jealousy and insecurity when your partner is poly? Don't get into relationships with poly people if you're not prepared to deal with poly is the real answer. The somewhat longer answer is get workbooks, read books. There's an infinite amount of literature on Amazon that deals with jealousy and polyamory. It's like the most common problem ever. There are tons of resources that can help you. Tons of resources. There was it. All right, Ticket Black said, "Hope you're well. Merry Christmas." Yes, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you. I know I missed something when I was gone and I was getting water. I knew I missed it, but I found it. Hopefully you're still here. Thank you so much. Do you prefer wearing latex or leather? Leather. Definitely leather. I love the smell of leather. I love how warm it is. Like, I like wearing latex after a while, but it's so cold to put on. Like, if it's not in the middle of summer and I'm not doing it outside, like, I don't like cold. I don't like cold. Latex is cold. Ipso facto. Not my favorite. Any resources for BDSM videos in Spanish? I know there are content creators that make BDSM videos in Spanish. I have found them, literally, this is what I do. This is how you find them. Is you search BDSM on YouTube. I know, mind blowing. And you sort by, like, posted in the last month or the last, like, 90 days or something like that. Because generally, like, the non-English language videos, like, don't get promoted on YouTube as much, at least to me, because I'm an English speaker. And so if you want to find the foreign language videos, like, you just gotta kind of narrow it down, because otherwise YouTube is going to show you the BuzzFeed stuff, the stuff that has, like, millions of views. But, like, I find if you look for stuff that's more recently posted, you are more likely to find things that are in other languages. I know for sure there are Portuguese and German, I have both found on YouTube that talk about BDSM. But Spanish in particular, I don't have any individual channels, but they are definitely there. But they're not Eevee. Oh, do I have... Okay, I understand what you're saying. Do I have videos in Spanish? You know what? Actually, I am currently emailing with somebody that is offering to subtitle my videos in Spanish. So there may be subtitled Spanish BDSM videos in the future. So that would be the closest thing. That would be the closest thing. Not kink related. Do you have any tips on getting a flatter stomach? I'm pretty skinny, but I have this annoying pooch in my stomach and it drives me insane. Okay, this is gonna be the last one that I answer because it's past 6 o'clock, but I think this is really important because we're gonna talk about anatomy here for a minute. Okay? Women's bodies, if you're a cis woman, you're supposed to have a pooch under, like it protects your ovaries. Like it literally, it's extra cushioning for your reproductive organs. And if you don't have that, it can actually be real bad for your hormones. So it's actually supposed to be there. Do not feel bad. This is like, okay, literally the diet industry and the fitness industry makes, I don't talk about fitness, I don't talk about diet stuff, but like this, just because this is like an anatomy and like sexuality and like confidence question, I will answer this. The diet industry makes millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars a year, selling people the lie that they can spot change their body. If a fitness TikTok, YouTubers, this is me. I love lifting weights, by the way. To have that context. Anybody that tells you that you can magically somehow make your stomach flatter just by doing crunches or doing ab workouts or whatever, or doing a keto diet, that's not how it works. Like, your body gains and loses weight where it wants to. It, like, if you get really, really into doing ab workouts and you do ab workouts like for 15 minutes every night of the week, nonstop, like, you might not lose any fat on your stomach. You will gain muscle there, but you will not lose fat. Like, if you work out a certain location, you will gain muscle there, but you will not necessarily lose fat there. Those are two different things. It is perfectly normal and acceptable, and it should be normalized, that you have a little bit of a curve down there because it's protecting your organs, okay? It's important. We want to protect our organs. It's also very normal for women to have a higher body fat percentage than men. That is just how it is. Like, high performance athletes, men have 2 to 5% body fat. Women, anything below 13% is like high performance. So like, if that helps give you a difference, like, we're supposed to have more fat on our bodies. Genetically, that's how it is. There's no shame in your body holding weight, and whatever spot it's holding weight in, it's fine. If it really bothers you, if your stomach is like making you dysphoric, like, having a healthier diet, losing body weight through a combination of exercise and diet is a thing you could do. But I don't think it should come from a place of hating your body and wanting to change one specific thing. But like, overall, you might lose a little bit of stomach pooch if like you change your diet and you work out in general. But like, you can't predict where your body is gonna lose weight and where it's gonna put weight on. You know, it is what it is. Some people, they put weight on their arms. Some people it's on their stomach. Some people it's on their thighs. You know, and like, that's just how we are. You know, I know it's rough. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's something that I have insecurity about myself, and I just really, really had to accept that, like, that was the part of my body that my body wanted to hold weight on, and it's for a very legitimate biological reason. And like, some people are genetically wired where they don't really carry fat there, and some people are, and that's just life. That's just life, you know. See, look, and like, oh my god, there's people in chat right now that are like, they love their girl's pooch, they think it's super cute, they think it's sexy. Like, y'all, this is it. This is the essence of life. It's like, anything you are secure about, there's a person that is into it. There's a person who likes it. Like, I know I had so many like partners of like people over the years that are like insecure about very specific things that like people find attractive. Like, oh, like my thighs are too big, or my butt's too big, or like my lips are too big, or whatever. Like, it's like, people are into that. Like, everyone likes different things. It's okay. It's fine. You just gotta find people. Like, you gotta find people. It was like a dating question, right? You gotta find people that love and embrace those things about you that you can't change, versus like people who are gonna fucking neg you over it and tell you you're ugly because you have like, you don't have a thigh gap. Like, some people's hips are just not that wide, and it's fine. Like, that's life. We can't change our bone structure, okay? Yes, and also definitely, like, it can mess with your cycle. If you get below a certain body fat percentage, like, it messes with your hormones. Like, a lot of, like, when I mentioned the, like, below 13% body fat mark, like, a lot of high-level athletes, especially, like, track and field athletes, long-distance runners, like, they completely lose their periods. Like, it can really mess with your fertility long-term. It can mess with a lot of stuff hormonally. Like, you want to be careful if you go there, okay? Like a minor aesthetic thing that matters to you 20 times more than it matters to anybody else is not worth your long-time health. And I say this as somebody that struggles with this constantly. Like, I mean, it's all the love in the world. This is like me, big sister, encouraging you to love your body the way that it is, because I guarantee you it is fine. I guarantee you it is fine. And everyone else cares about it like 10% as much as you do, if at all, if at all. All right, I think that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I'm going to go eat dinner that's not just part of a cold tortilla and have the rest of my hot chocolate. But thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully this helped you. This is super fun. I'm glad I got to talk. I feel so much better now. Hopefully it helped you with some of your problems. And yeah, this is great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're on Twitch, if you're watching, if you want to see me again, please do subscribe. I will most likely be streaming tomorrow as well. It's going to be one of our video game streams. We always chat and answer questions while we play as well, so don't worry about that. Thank you guys again so much. This was great. I will let you all know when I get that second monitor, because you guys you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Okay, stay safe, have fun, love yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.